Hey you, do you want to snipe like this?
Stun. Oh my god, they got smoked, bro. We hit those. Damn, right gunning is fucking hard on this game. God damn, I'm struggling.
Yo, what's up guys, Saint Rec here. Welcome back to the highly requested updated settings video. This one is specifically with DS4 Windows, but I'll also go over my in-game settings as well. So most of you guys know that I rock PS5 controller wirelessly on PC, and I have KontrolFreek Precision Rings. So yeah, we'll go through them really quick. Obviously, I'm a max sensitivity sniper. A lot of you guys probably already know that from Cold War and everything else. On my custom zooms, I do rock 0.70s. I think a lot of players for their AR red gunning rock 0.70, 0.80 on their low zooms. That seems to be the typical range. And for everything higher than 3 times, which is basically like my sniper scope, the 3.5, the 4s, everything else, I rock 1.17, just exactly what I had it on Cold War. So yeah, if you guys want to do that, keep your own stuff from Cold War, be my guest. And then of course my button layout is default flipped. That way I could shoot with the top triggers. Most pro players in the CDL and good players in general have already switched to shooting with top triggers. If you're still shooting with bottom triggers like Xbox 360 days, you're kind of falling behind because most people already made that switch. But I mean, hey, it's all personal preference at the end of the day. And just about everything else is mostly personal preference outside of the fact that I don't use any of the in-game dead zones. Like the title of the video says, this is DS4 Windows, so we're gonna hop over into DS4 Windows. But yeah, I don't have any dead zones on my minimum inputs. Those are your dead zones, and of course I just leave the max input dead zones at 99. But we're gonna go right into DS4 because I have all my custom dead zones in DS4 Windows, none in the actual game. Okay, so if you're a DS4 Windows user, I know a lot of people are like, wait, I play wirelessly with a PS5 controller, you don't overclock it? No, I don't play wired with an overclock. I play wireless and I max it out to 1 millisecond response time. You can choose to do overclocks if you like. You can go ahead and watch tons of videos, but for me, I just don't overclock and I use wireless 1 millisecond response time. So really quick general stuff with DS4 Windows. Obviously, check the link in the description. Make sure you're on the actual proper DS4 Windows that is open source and constantly updated, so you're not on the wrong one or an old one. So yeah, make sure you're on the right DS4 Windows for the best performance. And just some important general stuff before we get into the controller binds and the dead zones. Make sure that in the others tab, your emulated controller is on DualShock 4. The only reason you would ever use Xbox 360 is certain Windows games don't let you do DS4, so you'd have to do emulation, but you don't really need to do that if you're playing all these newer CODs and everything like that. So yeah, keep that on DualShock 4 for the best performance and response time. And then of course on the BT pull rate, you want to keep that at 1 millisecond. That's a no-brainer. Obviously, if you have overclock on your controller with a wired connection, then that's that, and you can do that too. But yeah, I have this set to max 1 millisecond. Just keep it at 1 millisecond and you're good to go. Make sure all your gyros are unbound. You don't need any of these bounded, so make sure those are all unbound. On the light bar, you want to go ahead and move all the color away. It just drains your battery. It's pointless. It might even take up some input latency, so you might as well just take off all the lights. Usually people have like the blue one on. You don't need lights, but what you can do is you can set a low battery warning. So right here, it flashes at 10%. You can set it to whatever you want, but yeah, when my controller is low on battery, it'll flash red at 10% battery. So that's that. Okay, very quickly, I'm gonna go over my keybinds. They are the same as Cold War. There are 2 things that I do specifically because I don't play claw or paddles that I do for jumping and sliding. So really quickly, my R3 is a cross, which is basically the X button. Why do I bind my R3 to X? So that I can have jump with R3. A lot of professional players in the CDL will always tell you, you want your right analog stick pressed down, your R3 button, to be either a jump or a slide. Obviously, that's like the big thing. If you don't have paddles, you want that to be either a jump or a slide. Some pro players use jump, some use slide. I jump with my R3, so when I'm doing a B-hop camera around the corner, whatever I'm doing, I press down on R3 to jump. That way I can keep my thumbs on the triggers while I'm jumping and sliding and not have any drawbacks of accuracy or aiming or movement or any of that stuff. And then of course on my R2, you guys know I have a macro on it. It's not really a macro, I just bound it to circle, but it gets weird when I don't do it with the macro. So yeah, my R2 is basically my circle. So here we go, we're gonna slide cancel this corner. Boom, just like that. It's kind of hard to do this only like that, but you guys get the point. Boom. 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 Now I know what you guys are thinking. If I'm jumping with R3 and I'm sliding with my R2, what does that mean for my nades and everything else? Well, I don't use it. I don't use nades in this game. I've never thrown a nade in this game, and I've never knifed in this game, because obviously if I try to knife and press down on R3, it's just a jump. I still keep circle for slide for things like crouch and like, you know, certain scenarios. So yeah, I don't have a knife, I don't bash, and I don't throw nades. Sorry, you know, I'm going for sniping clips. I don't need to do those things. So one thing that is funny that I do, however, is on my left D-pad, I actually recorded a macro. So you can actually record a macro within DS4 Windows. So by setting my left D-pad to a macro of L2 and R2, that basically just means that I can use my field upgrades. Obviously, I don't have a field upgrade ready to use, but if I did, it would be using it. And now really quickly on the Axis config, I'll go through all of my dead zones, because like I said, I don't use any dead zones in the physical game. So on your left stick, I have it as sensitive as possible. This is my sprint stick. The moment I touch my sprint stick, I want my character to move sprinting. If you have a little bit of dead zone and your guy moves by itself, then you can put it up. But if not, I just keep it at 0, and I keep the max zone at 1. Anti-dead zone down at 0, max output at 1. I think the rest is just basically default 1.0, 1.0 linear, all that stuff. I don't think I've ever even touched this other stuff. So yeah, you can copy that. Yours should look the same because it's, you know, never been touched. Now here's the stick that actually matters, the right stick. My dead zone on my right analog stick, this is the stick that you're looking around with, is 0.08. Now everybody's controller is different. If you got a newer controller, you might be able to get away with a lower dead zone. If you got a busted up older controller, you might need a higher dead zone. So for me, 0.08 is the sweet spot. When I'm letting go of my controller, my guy has no dead zone. He's not looking around. However, let me show you what happens if I go just one more lower. So right here, we're gonna put it one more down, just one more, 0.07 instead of 0.08. But now I'm gonna show you what my guy does. So we're gonna move it around, but look at that. Right there, I'm getting dead zone. That is no bueno. The guy is moving on its own when I'm not touching it. That is dead zone. So I know for me, my lowest, look at that, it's moving. My lowest possible dead zone is 0.08. Otherwise, any lower, I get stick drift, I get dead zone, and my guy is moving by himself. So we're gonna put it back to 0.08, and I know for a fact, anything less than that, I'm gonna have stick drift. So that's how you wanna calibrate it, see? And it's gone. No more stick drift, no more nothing. Maybe very slight, but yeah, the older your controller, you might have to lower it and raise it, but for now, 0.08 is my sweet spot. It's the lowest I can go without having any dead zone or stick drift. So yeah, that's how you calibrate that. Everything else on the right stick, max zone 1.0 maxed out. Anti-dead zone, I kind of played around with it. 0.10 felt good. I don't think that's default. That's just what I put, and it felt smooth, and I hit a nice clip, and I was like, all right, we're just gonna keep that setting. Not specifically sure about it. You can mess around with it like I did if you like. You don't have to. Max output 1.0, vertical scale 1.0, sensitivity 1.0. And now here's the big thing in the title of this video. Output curve, I use enhanced precision. I know a lot of people that love enhanced precision, and let me make the best comparison that I can make. During Modern Warfare and Warzone, a lot of pro players were using something called dynamic aim curve. And now the reason a lot of really good players in Modern Warfare Warzone loved the dynamic response curve is because that was a sensitivity curve that gave you a lot more controlled precision when you're making smaller adjustments within your right analog stick when you're aiming. But then when you made larger adjustments like that, it gave you a lot more freedom. So it was like a nice sweet spot middle ground that a lot of really good players really seemed to like. You probably saw a lot of pro player settings during Warzone Modern Warfare all using the dynamic response curve. So yeah, if I had to make a comparison, the output curve of enhanced precision is similar to the same reason why a lot of pro players preferred using dynamic response curve within those other games in game settings. But for me, I don't use any in-game curves. I keep it all standard in game, but I put my output curve to enhanced precision for my right stick in DS4 Windows. So yeah, go ahead and give that a try. You have all these other options as well. I know some people really like linear. I hate it, but enhanced precision was, it just felt good. It's not going to be amazing instantly, but once you got used to it, I felt like that was the best one. A lot of people in Fortnite, a lot of people in COD used it. Enhanced precision was just really good. It really does live up to his name, enhanced precision. And then everything else I believe is relatively untouched. I don't think I've changed any of this. That's all what it is there, and I haven't touched any of that. So now for your L2 and R2, it doesn't really matter because these are like your nades and stuff like that, but I still want them as sensitive as possible if I throw a stun, I want it to throw. If I slide, because my R2 is a slide, I want it to slide instantly. So I put the dead zones all the way to 0, basically making them hair triggers, and I max out the max zones all the way to 1 and the anti-dead zones all the way to 1 as well. For the max output, of course, you still max it out to 1, and the sensitivity as sensitive as possible, and linear output curves. That way you're basically making them hair triggers. The moment I even touch a slither of my L2 or R2, they're gonna do the action that they're meant to do, whether it's throw a stun or a nade. In my case, my R2 is a slide. So yeah, whatever you want to do, make sure these are all as sensitive, low dead zone as possible. So yeah, that just about does it for the DS4 Windows and Vanguard settings. You could try out some unique stuff, really mess around with it and get it fine-tuned for your play style. But those are my settings. A lot of people requested it, so there you guys go. One thing before we get into the rest of the clips, I play a lot of viewer lobbies. I know people hate it for some reason because like the clips aren't as good or high SPMM as normal clips. I just didn't want to sit here acting like I'm playing in like the highest SPMM every single game, when in reality, if I'm playing with someone and it's like low SPMM, then it's like I'm gonna hit a clip and use it even if it's like not my own SPM. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things that the sniping community cares about, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm hitting bangers in like sweaty lobbies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, full transparency with that. I don't see why people care. I guess they compare it to like reverse boosting and like that's kind of scummier. But if you're just playing with viewers or playing with friends that are bad, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. Who cares? Oh, this is about to be so free. Good tack. Oh, that's free. It's called it. Oh, my tactical insertion and suppressor.
Cheating motherfucker.
No, he exposed me. He caught me. Oh, that almost hit. Oh my god. That was crazy. Oh, the no scope.
What? Suicide spawn penalty. This.
Oh, damn, those were crispy movements. God damn. God damn, let me go. Oh, the jump nos with the little crispy movement. Oh, no, the hit marker. Oh, damn, I'm popping off. Woo.
Bro.
Hey, go for me. Go for me. Up a check. Let's go.
God damn. Let me go. Wow, I just joined the game. Okay, that flank is crazy.